Zambia's Minister of Home Affairs and International Security, Jacob Mwimbu, at the invitation of Namibia's Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, Dr. Albert Kawana, and his delegation visited the Zambezi region from 3 to 6 April 2023. The two ministers thanked the Namibian President Dr. Hage Geingob and his Zambian counterpart Hakainde Hichilema for their continued support by allowing the two delegations to hold bilateral meetings to discuss areas of mutual interest related to law and order.
These are extremely important matters which will go a long way to bring comfort to our people. After the bitter struggle for national liberation, which I have just narrated, the important mission now is the economic struggle aimed at economic emancipation of our people. This is what we call the second phase of our struggle, which must not fail. Agreements should not gather dust after signing. They must be implemented in order for them to achieve the intended objective.
With the 23rd session of the Joint Permanent Commission on Defense and Security held from 14 to 18 March 2022 in Swakopmund in mind, Mwimbu undertook the working visit to assess the progress made in the implementation of the resolutions from the session in the areas of immigration, police and correctional services, and border security along the common border, and the two ministers expressed satisfaction with the progress made.
Zambia attaches great commitment to the Joint Permanent Commission on Defense and Security in resolving all matters related to bilateral agreements and memorandums of understanding between the two sister countries. I'm glad that through this meeting we will endeavor to address some of the resolutions of the last Joint Permanent Commission on Defense and Security, which was held in Swakopmund, Namibia from 14th to 18th March 2022.
The two ministers paid a courtesy call to the Zambezi Regional Council, and after that engagement, they proceeded to the Katinga-Mulilo border post, where they oversaw the transfer of offenders. The transfer saw 15 Zambian nationals, 14 males and 1 female, and 6 Namibian nationals, all males, transferred to serve the remainder of their sentences in their countries of origin. The transfer was done in accordance with Article 3 of the Agreement of Transfer of Offenders between the two countries.
Actually, I'm excited. I'm excited to be the first one to open this Broadway after the agreement was signed, because it will pave way for my family to visit, and the expenses will be less than it would have been for them to come to visit me in Namibia. So I feel very happy to serve my sentence back home, for this transfer to have happened. I'm very much excited.
I really appreciate this, what the government has come up with. It helps much for both countries, because some of the inmates, they are finding it very difficult farther in the other country and far in the other country. So when they are brought back, it's much easier, and it also helps to refrain from pressure, depression and other stuffs.
Furthermore, the two ministers visited areas along the common border, namely Luhono Nomwandi and Machenje Mambowa crossing points and Singalamwe Musho outposts to assess and reassure the border residents on the betterment of service delivery, including the improvement of border management and strengthening the existing cooperation between the two countries. They also visited the Ngoma border post to observe the use of national identity cards as travel documents by nationals of Namibia and Botswana. The delegation reaffirmed the role of the ministers in addressing security issues along the common border, further noting that harmony, stability, and good neighborliness continues to characterize the peaceful coexistence between the two countries. However, they expressed concern that continued incidents of transnational organized crime, such as illegal border crossing, stock theft, and cattle rustling, human and drugs trafficking, smuggling, wildlife crimes, as well as irregular migration, continues to undermine the efforts by the defense and security institutions, not only in the two countries, but also the region as a whole. In this regard, the ministers affirmed their government's support to curb these and other crimes. Aaron Mushaukwa, NYCT, Zambia's region.